Teradek's lineup of Bolt recorders have been the most popular and widely used professional wireless video transmitters for many years now. But the time has come to move on to newer, better things for Teradek, and they're moving the Bolt 500, Bolt 1000 and Bolt 3000 series end of life. To replace them, meet the new Bolt 4K LT series. These are essentially the high-end Bolt 4K models, but with a simpler SDI port, which can only handle 1080p rather than the 12G SDI ports on the flagship Bolt 4K models. To do 4K on these new ones, you have to use the HDMI port, but in all other aspects, they're actually very similar. You can choose between 750 feet and 1,500 feet options, which is a nice range upgrade from the previous Bolts. And you can now pair 6 receivers to just 1 transmitter, just like on the flagship ones, up from 4 from the previous Bolts. Plus, of course, you can send and receive 4K video with effectively 0 latency. One really important point to get across with these new ones though, especially as they're now completely replacing the previous Bolts, is that this isn't just about 4K. If you have no desire to be wirelessly monitoring in 4K yet, that's fine, I don't blame you. These are still far better products than the previous ones though, even if you stick to 1080p. The big change in quality with these new ones is that you can now send 10-bit HDR video, which will make things much easier when you're monitoring HDR signals on set. But the 10-bit edition is a big deal. You'll get 10-bit whether you're using SDI or HDMI, 4K or 1080p, which is very welcome indeed. No one likes explaining to a worried client why they can see banding on their monitor in the middle of a shoot. But perhaps the feature I'm most pleased to see come across from the flagship models to these new Bolts is the iOS app, which lets you pair units together, adjust your settings and check up on their signal quality, analyze the available spectrums, and change your channel manually. If you're working with more than one set of these Bolts at once, let alone a larger production with lots of them going on, this is just such a useful tool. Now, lots of people hear it has an app and immediately think of it as some kind of gimmick that they're never going to use, but this just isn't that. It takes away the main headache of working with wireless video, which is pairing the things together and then keeping that signal strong. It is such a useful tool to have. Another nice touch is that they've made specific monitor modules for the Small HD Cine 7 and the 702 Touch monitors. So now, rather than buying a separate monitor with a Teradek built in for a wireless client monitor, you can simply add one of these modules to your current monitors and upgrade a normal 7-inch to be fully wireless when you need it to be, all while keeping that simple, slimline design that made the built-in one so nice to use in the first place with the previous generation. So, with the new Bolt 4K LT 750 and 1500, you get 0 latency 4K video, 10-bit HDR support, more multicasting to more receivers, more range, and that new app. The new LTs are cross-compatible with the flagship 4K models, but unfortunately they won't work with the older Bolts. If you own Bolts currently and you get one of these new ones as well, they won't talk to each other, I'm afraid. But Teradek have managed to get these new ones to market at the same price point as the previous generation, which is always nice to see. These new 4K LT Bolts are a big upgrade in pretty much every way over the older ones. But is it enough for you to want to upgrade yourself? Let me know in the comment section, and if you want to buy one of these for yourself, they're available now over at proav.co.uk. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.